Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle C-bun by CZT, Esther, Piszczek. And Esther, if you ever watch this, you have to tell me if you have to give me the correct pronunciation of your last name. I think I'm close, I hope. All right, this is a neat tangle. I've seen it for a while and thought, let's give this one a go. All right. Actually, I'm going to start this off with a different pen. I think that one is about had it. All right. Let's try. Yeah. I've had people ask, how do you know when your pen is kind of out of ink? And it's like, well, when it misbehaves a lot, like that one. All right. Sometimes I like to do this. All right. For purposes of this being a Zentangle Quickie, I'm just going to make it a 4 square. So it's a grid pattern. And you could, I think it will look neat in any size grid. Okay, so once you have your grid set in whatever space you're working in, next step, and actually this, I took some liberties on the step out, and those step outs are in the description section. You'll see mine as well as the For More Inspiration is to Esther's. So you can also see, other ways to use it. I always love showing, making sure to have, the person that created the tangle and have their work presented with a link, if at all possible, so that way you can see. All right. So I did take some liberties because the next 2 steps were kind of one, and just the way I work, I wanted to see. I needed to split it into 2 steps. So here's what I did. Is I decided we're going to put a spiral in the middle of each box, and so I'm just going to start one, and I'm going to guess you could go whatever size spiral you want. I'm going to keep it on the small size because that's what Esther has in hers. It's a small spiral, but I think you could play with it. All right, and we're going to do that so that way I'm getting it in the center. Oh, and apparently, well, let's see. Oh no, wait, I can rescue that. I don't know that you have to go the same way each time. It could be fun to not do the same way each time. And I'm going like opposite that I normally go. It's really weird, but that's okay. All right, spiral in each box. Then from the end of your spiral, we're just going to draw a straight line up. Oh, and you'll want to make sure to end your spiral kind of in the center like this, so that way you're already lined up to draw this straight line going up. And so this makes it look like, honestly, you could stop right here, couldn't you? And make it look like an ornament. But there are other steps. And I want to do the bottom one first. So this is the first 2 steps, or the first step. I just split it out into 2 because I wanted to make sure that I got this in the center. And I don't know, I just like to sometimes split things up. All right, next step is we're going to draw a straight line. And if you can kind of make it using the hollow bow technique, so that way it's kind of lined up here. But then we also, if you're doing it in a grid, right, you're going to want to have it lined up. But you can kind of move that a little bit as you're drawing it. But I think it has a nice effect if it looks like a continuous line. And the same thing here. And then from here down. Now, Esther did have a variation in hers, and this was essentially it. So, like, you could stop here if you wanted to. But the next thing that she does is she draws lines going out to the side. Now, in your grid, you could, so, like, I'm going to just draw right through that line. You don't have to make them all separate. And even here, when you were doing this line, could have, well, no, we couldn't really, because this was that first step, and we want to make sure that that end is lined up. All right, and then the same idea, thinking hollow bow. And actually, if you start on this side right here, you could make it just one continuous line like that, using the hollow bow concept. And that's it. it's I don't know, it's really cute. And picturing, you know, if it was in a smaller grid, it'll look neat either way. You know, even if you did a little bit bigger spiral, that will still look neat. I'm going to add some shading. There's probably a lot of ways. Well, you could like add shadow to it instead to each thing, like where we would, you know, offset or something if you wanted to, you know, do that. Just depends on what your vision is, or how your tangle is moving you to shade it. How it's talking to you. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Because if you've been tangling at all, you know, for a while, you know that this does, you know, you do the tangle, then stop, take a look at it. So I'm just going to do the whole thing. So if I was doing this in a, you know, in a traditional tile, you know, where I was filling in a section, I'm thinking that this would be one that I would just probably do the entire section, because there's not much to do in here. Although you could mess with the spiral too. You could do some shading in the spiral itself. I'm going to add some more here, because this is kind of big, so we want to bring it out a little bit. But I do like to start on the scarce side with the graphite, and then can always grow it. Sometimes I don't remember how much I have left on the tortillon, and so that will sometimes make it darker than I was expecting. Yeah, and then, you know, you just curve in the edges, and however you see fit. And, you know, there's probably more that one could do. You know, maybe I don't know. I'm thinking if you're making it look like tiles, you could do graphite along those initial grid lines even. Oh, but see, that looks neat. It just makes it it looks poofy and soft. But yeah, you could do that on each of the original grid lines, and kind of the same idea, as long as you make sure to leave some original tile color, so that way, you know, each one looks, you know, kind of, like I said, poofy. That's my technical term for that. So anyway, really neat tangle, real versatile. And like I could see you using it as a fill-in or as a background behind something else. And, you know, it's something that's more of a feature tangle. Just really, really neat. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, would love to have a like or a thumbs up. Feel free to share it. And would love to have you as a subscriber to the channel if you like it enough to see more. In the description box, again, there's the step outs. Then underneath those are ways to connect with me if you want to. I do a combination of paid and free online classes. Every Thursday, I do a couple free sessions where we just, like this, we just take a tangle or two, whatever I think I can fit in an hour, and we have fun with it. So would love to have you join us sometime. And there's other ways to connect, you know, Facebook and Instagram and all that on there. So thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.